Okay. All right, Nathan, so your latest fight's announced. What do you make of your opponent?
Uzelkov on 27th of October. He's going to be a good fight. Tough Ukrainian, and he'll come to fight. He can punch. He's got a good record. Knocked out the former world champion in Gabriel Campillo. So he is good. I know a lot of people can be cynical because they haven't heard the name before. But if they look into his record, he is decent and he can fight. And he will come to fight.
Do you think it's a high risk, low reward sort of fight? Do you think but you've got to take something like this to keep busy?
Yeah, it is. It is one of those fights because this is the only fight we could seem to get really. He's ranked highly in the WBO, IBF, and WBA, and he's a fighter who wanted the fight. So it's kind of a high risk fight because people are expecting me to win easy, really. But really, he's a tough guy who could potentially cause a few problems. So it's important that I keep focused and do the biz.
Frank showed me the paperwork yesterday. They made the offer to Hopkins. Shumenov unification fight didn't happen, or hasn't happened yet. So was it disappointing not to get one of those big fights?
It was disappointing. I had my heart set on a big fight. Initially, we was agreed for Hopkins. I was prepared to go to New York in October and defend my title against Hopkins. So that fight was verbally agreed, and Frank has got an email, to say that the fight was going ahead, and then he passed when we was going to sign for the fight. So that was disappointing because I had my heart set on that. So we moved on to Shumenov for a unification fight. Agreed to go to Vegas, but he couldn't find a TV deal. So we offered him big money to come over here, and he didn't want to know. So that was two big fights gone down the drain, really. Disappointing. But I got to keep active, and October 27th, Uzelkov's prepared to come and fight, and he's a good fighter. So
once you take the champions out of the mix, the Dawsons who's just fought, and Pascal and Cloud, it's not the deepest division, is it? So it's very hard to get opponents who aren't already title holders.
It is, and it's quite easy to be cynical of the opponents because are they not a big name like a Hopkins or a Dawson? People are quick to jump on and be negative about your opponent, but in reality, they're still tough guys, world ranked, and they can fight and they can cause an upset. So, especially at this level. So
and you're still happy at your age because you're still young. You're still happy to be having fights like this where you can still learn things and progress.
Yeah, I've come to settle with the fact that this is the way it's had to go, really, because of the big fights falling through. I've had no option other than to fight an Uzelkov who's keen to fight, who's got the world ranking, and it'll be a good chance for me to gain more experience at world title level because I'm still 25. So it's more to come from me, and I'm going to get stronger, more experience. So there's no major rush, really, and the longer it goes, the better I'll get, I suppose.
I was speaking to Frank yesterday, and we talked about Amir Khan, we talked about Joe Calzaghe, we talked about Ricky Hatton, and asked him who his next big star is. He said it was going to be you. Do you agree?
Who said that?
Frank Warren.
Frank, yeah, I agree with that. I think I got a good working relationship with Frank, but he knows that when I'm on it and when I'm mentally focused and when I turn up to a fight 100% prepared, I'm going to be a very difficult fighter to beat. And I've got a fan-friendly style because I like to fight. Sometimes it's a bit reckless. But that can work for me, It's kind of, I enjoy fighting that way. I love getting into a tear-up. So I'll always be involved in exciting fights, and it's a style that should sell. So yeah. It could be. And next year I fancy unifying the division. So hopefully I can fulfill that.
You had an exciting fight with Tony Bellew. Did you see his fight with Miranda over the weekend?
Yeah, mine and Tony's fight was very exciting. Went up to Liverpool, 24 at the time, and delivered the goods, remained world champion. So, and his fight against Miranda, it was an okay fight. he done what he had to do. I thought Miranda did give up. You know, it was a good, clever fight to take, really. Miranda, good pedigree, but you know, there was no way he was ever going to win that fight. You know, naturally he was too small, and you know, he had enough in the end. He just give up.
So what do you want from your career next year, looking ahead to 2013, providing you get yourself out of the way?
Get Uzalkov out the way, win this fight, try and win in impressive fashion, and then set up a unification fight for 2013 with Shumanov, Javoris Cloud, and possibly Bernard Hopkins if he wants to fight. Then we'll do that. So
ideally in Wales, or are you not fussed?
I don't mind really. I just want a big fight. So whether it's in Wales or USA, as long as it's a big fight.
Yeah, nice one.